Hello and welcome to the Hub on CGTN. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. China-Arab states just reached a wide range of consensus. How important is this consensus to the future of China-Arab relations? What is their common voice on the escalating humanitarian situation in Gaza? And what does a Syrian membership back into the Arab states mean to the organization and to regional stability? Our guest today is His Excellency Dr. Faisal Mekdad, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Syria. Your Excellency, Foreign Minister Mekdad, welcome to Beijing, China.
Thank you.
The China-Arab States Ministerial Conference that was attended by heads of state as well as Your Excellency yourself. There is this Beijing Declaration and also an action plan for the year 2024 through 2026. How important is this conference at this moment? And how important do you think are these outcomes?
The Beijing Conference was really a very important event. Politically speaking, Arab countries, all of them support the objectives of the Chinese people and are very much enthusiastic for excellent relations between the two sides. I was really very much impressed by the readiness of both sides for having a lot of agreements on different political and economic issues. And in fact, the declaration, the different resolutions adopted have reflected this reality that both sides cooperate in all fields. In fact, China has always supported the many Arab causes that need international support. You see how much common issues that make us work together.
Of course, President Xi mentioned at least 5 areas of cooperation going forward, including more dynamic cooperation on innovation, scaling up of investment and finance cooperation, diversifying energy sectors, more balanced and mutually beneficial trade with Arab states, and broaden the scope of people-to-people contact. So during his speech, anything sticks out for you?
President Xi Jinping was very precise in identifying these fields of cooperation. I think everybody received important ideas about these 5 points in a way that was really highly appreciated because, as we say in Arabic, he put his finger on the wound where our cooperation should be encouraged and emphasized. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I can tell you that personally I was very much impressed, and all other delegations I spoke to were really listening with care and with appreciation.
You know, people still talk very fondly of the state visit made by your President Bashar al-Assad last September to China. It was his first state visit in recent memory in perhaps 2 decades, right, to China. Looking back, how do you look at the important results of that state visit? And you're visiting China this time around and meeting with Chinese counterparts. How does all these enhance the momentum of our bilateral fraternity and cooperation?
As far as the visit of His Excellency President Bashar al-Assad, it really came at a very particular time when Syrian-Chinese relations were growing up. There are different projects in Syria which are being built by Chinese cooperation, by Chinese companies. The relations, once again, as depicted by the Syrian people with China, go beyond boundaries and are people-to-people relations. And this is exactly what President Assad has found here. He was really very much impressed by the way he was received, not only at the official level, but also at the level of the people who welcomed him. So it was a very historical, successful visit, and we see it as very important that we enhance the relations between the two countries. I don't want to talk only about the political aspects where China has supported all just causes in the world. Look at the relations between China and, I think, all Africa. You will find a real Chinese hand in building the African continent. While some other countries are taking, China is giving. China has never ever been a colonialist country. China has always advocated the rights of peoples for independence, for development. If we have to describe this through historical terms, we can speak of thousands of years. It's true, we learn it in the books, in the history books, but we found it also deeply rooted in our hearts.
This strategic partnership that was newly announced between China and Syria, of course, this is not just a political terminology, it goes beyond it. Of course, Syria signed up to China's Belt and Road Initiative a few years ago. How do you think all these will transpire into, the next level of China-Syria engagement?
When I was speaking about the historical relations between the two countries, I based myself on the reality that, thousands of years ago. The relations are there. Some countries are only 300 years old. But the relations between China and Arab countries, particularly Syria, have gone, thousands of years ago. So it's something deeper. And the spirit of these relations is inspiring for generations of Syrians throughout history. So now we are enjoying the fruits of this cooperation. In the political field, China has supported the just Arab causes. All Arab countries highly appreciate the positions of China in the Security Council and in the General Assembly and at all international events, because China has stood always for just causes, including in particular the Arab causes.
Syria was behind China, was among the very first countries to vote for Chinese causes on Xinjiang, on Taiwan, on South China Sea.
Absolutely. China is one. We always advocated the representative nature of the People's Republic of China in terms of having a one entity, one identity, and so on. So we strongly support the principle of one China, and we have never ever recognized the presence of some separatist policies made by the well-known Western countries. And we are confident that China will always and forever will be one country. It is the People's Republic of China. And I was really happy listening to speeches made by Arab leaders and by different delegations taking part. All of them reconfirmed the oneness of the Chinese nation. We only recognize one China, the People's Republic of China.
Minister Mekdad, let's talk about Gaza. On May the 26th, Israel launched attacks on none other than a refugee camp in Gaza, killing at least 45 Palestinians. And that happened in the context of some 36,000, at least 36,000 Palestinians killed. And of course, that was happening after the October attack launched by Hamas against Israeli people, including civilians. How concerned are you, and what is the current position of the Syrian government on the situation?
You cannot describe the situation and suffering of the Palestinian people in a vacuum. The Palestinian people have been suffering the absence of their state. Millions of Palestinians have been sent outside their homeland. We think the overwhelming majority of countries of the world, of course with the exception of some Western countries, support the right of the Palestinian people. And when the suffering of the Palestinian people has been going on since 1948, when Israel was established, I mean, we have more than 500,000 Palestinians in Syria, more than 1 million in Jordan, tens of thousands in Lebanon, and so on. So millions of Palestinians, more than 5 million Palestinians are living now outside their homeland. They are denied the right to establish their own homeland. With every day passing, more Palestinian territories are being confiscated, more settlements are being built in the West Bank. And I mean, if you bring a map and look where this Palestinian state will be established, I mean, you will find all the West Bank being colonized now by more than 700,000 settlers. The history back, Gaza and other Palestinian territories are Palestinian territories. They don't belong to any other entity. Occupation of more Arab territories has further complicated the issue, and now the Palestinian struggle movement, our efforts is to solve the Middle East problem peacefully, but Israel wants both the peace and the land, something that nobody will accept. Of course, I mean, supporters of Israel, those countries that established Israel or supported the establishment of Israel, continue providing Israel with weapons and financing their projects and so on, and the settlements, but this will not absolutely help bringing in a just and comprehensive peace in the Middle East. We once again would like to thank China for its just policies and positions as being expressed at the Security Council of the United Nations and in the General Assembly and everywhere in international forums, that just and comprehensive peace in the Middle East should be established. And Western powers should not continue ignoring the Arab rights. And the double standard policies by the West has become a well-known reality that should be condemned.
Talking about outside intervention, the Secretary General of the Arab League, Secretary General Gait, talked about the fact that the Western countries has been providing Israel with political cover. He criticized it. Also, President Joe Biden himself admitted on CNN on May the 10th that the Palestinian civilians have been killed by the very heavy bombs the U.S. has providing Israel with. First time owning up to this fact.
These kinds of policies are inhuman, immoral. They are calling, for example, for a world governance built on the rules of the law, where, they believe in a law for them, but not for others. Where they establish this law and they want to implement it against the interests of other peoples, but when applied to them, they will never accept it. Of course, for several years now, we are calling this double standard policy, but even it is more than double standard. This is, in fact, the reality of the colonialist West. They want to maintain their colonialist policies, but different means.
Talking about double standards, Washington loves to use such words as genocide and massacre on countries they don't like for what these countries have done to their rebels or dissidents. Think about Russia, China, Syria, Sudan, and many others, Serbia. But recently, during a congressional hearing, some Americans called their own Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, the Secretary of Genocide, alluding to the facts of the civilians being killed in Gaza. Is this a final irony?
It's an irony. It should be encouraged. I mean, the American people in particular should be informed of the crimes committed by the United States in Asia, I mean, on your borders, I mean, in Vietnam and Cambodia, and I mean, in the Middle East, I think their crimes are innumerable. So they are everywhere. And without the support and connivance of the American administrations, Israel will never be able to, I mean, commit such crimes in the occupied territories. This is the reality of the United States. It's, I mean, for them, speaking about human rights and the genocide and, I mean, killing of innocent people is just a hypocrisy, a big lie. And now, I think different peoples of the world started to understand, because look, American students were protesting in the universities. Yeah. I mean, students were attacked, and the professors in different universities. In almost all these Western countries, I mean, police was attacking them, harassing them, committing a lot of crimes against the professors, who should be respected by everybody. I mean, I was really I'm appalled by, I mean, police beating a professor, and she is telling them, I am a professor, why are you beating me? And they did not stop. But this is the reality. When they come to face the reality, we discover their hypocritic nature. Mm-hmm. And the big lie they are trying to export to other countries, but they are the main violators of the human rights, ignoring the rights of the Palestinian, the human rights of the Palestinian people, of the Syrian people to combat terrorism, and of other countries to achieve their full independence, stealing our national properties. I mean, now they are controlling the east of Syria and stealing our oil and our wheat and other.
In the aftermath of the earthquake in early 2023, your colleagues told us about the atrocities committed by none other than the US sanctions regime that has been placed on Syria.
I mean, any country that does not accept American atrocities, they are accused of, I mean, these violations, and then sanctions are imposed. I think the Cuban people have been, I mean, sanctioned for 60 years.
Iran?
The inhuman. Iran, in Syria. In fact, sanctions are killing civilians. They are killing poor people. And they are impoverishing the entire populations in different parts of it. This is inhuman. Again, I would like to say this is immoral, and they don't care.
On a more constructive note, Syria rejoined the family of the Arab League around this time last year. What do you think Syria has brought or brought back to this organization after many, many years of absence?
I don't want to exaggerate by saying that Syria founded the Arab League and called for Arab unity. Of course, it's a joke that Syria was for some time outside the Arab joint action, but we have always told everybody that I mean, if we are not in the organization, we are there. I'm on the ground. Our people believe in Arab unity. We believe in enhancing Arab possibilities to work together to face the economic challenges, the cultural challenges, international cooperation, the attacks against some of our countries. As you have mentioned, several countries are being attacked by the United States. And has the United States become more Arabs than Arab countries? That established the idea of Arab unity. I mean, like in the case of Syria, it's a joke. Okay, we have been always there, we'll be always there. I mean, we, until recently, we were almost the only Arab country that any Arab can visit without a visa.
Visa-free travel for your fellow Arab states?
Absolutely. Arabs did not, need visa to come to Syria. Only after, the terrorist attacks and so on, we imposed some, not to allow these terrorists to come to Syria, to commit their crimes. So we demanded, throughout history, Syria did not ask for a visa to any Arab person to come to Syria. So yes, now we are there. We have felt always we are there, whether directly or indirectly. And the need for Syria to be there is not beneficial for Syria alone, but for the Arab countries. The Arab country that was calling for Arab unity is Syria. And through pressure by the United States, Western countries, Syria was, put outside the framework of Arab cooperation. But we have always supported Arab causes and are the vanguards of Arab unity and common action.
Looking at the future of our world, Mr. Foreign Minister, do you think the Chinese solutions, such as the 3 global initiatives proposed by President Xi, China's action and role in the Middle East, across Africa, Eurasia, and Latin America, present a different set of philosophies than traditional Western powers have offered the world? And do you think the Chinese solutions somehow represent hope, or rather new hope, for the future of the world?
Look, the Western powers did not propose any, ideas for working together to solve, growing global problems. But China, on the other hand, has come with all these ideas, not only for herself, not only for Asia, but for the entire world. That's why Syria has unconditionally supported all the initiatives of President Xi Jinping, and whether on security or development or the Silk Road, China has come with very positive initiatives to solve the existing problems and divisions in the world. The West has complicated the issue. In fact, has called for deepening the division. What's important for them is to control the world and to make others work for them, serve their own interests. That's why the initiatives by President Xi Jinping have been welcomed, not only in Syria, but in the world at large. And we are ready to work together with China for direct action to move these ideas into a real ground.
Your Excellency, Foreign Minister Mekdad, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
That was my conversation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Syria. And that will do it for this edition of The Hub on CGTN. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. I'll see you again next time.